we talked about sort of the Confucius Institute. So for those viewers who are unaware, the Confucius Institute is a institution in American universities which is funded by the Chinese Communist Party officially. It's actually officially funded, but American universities still let these places of learning unfold because it's really about Chinese culture, right? It's not actually about the CCP itself. However, what the CCP has successfully done is they've run a propaganda campaign essentially to say, well, China is actually a really good place, which is true. China is a great place with a lot of very nice people, but then they equate the government with the people, and that's not actually the case. I would argue that the vast majority of the Chinese people, essentially, and we've seen this especially with COVID, is that the Chinese people no longer want communism or socialism or any of these radical relative to American standards, these radical ideologies. And actually what we've seen over the last week is from leaked video out of China, individuals in China are actually burning these quarantine camps, and they're sort of shooting down, or they're taking down these drones that are basically telling them to quash their soul's desire for freedom. That's pretty terrible stuff. But I think that people in China specifically are waking up now. As to whether our enlightened American universities will ever wake up to the idea that maybe they're parroting Chinese propaganda when they're forwarding false narratives like the George Floyd narrative or the Trayvon Martin murder narrative, and then I would argue that a lot of the people in our institutions are actually forwarding sort of narratives that are helpful to our enemies, I would say.
Yeah, actually they were trying to influence the younger generation and brainwash the U.S. younger generations through this Confucius Institute and other education system.
Yeah.
So and the disaster doesn't stop there. They sadly, right? And they do the economic warfare and infiltrating the DOJ and other judicial system, and that is very dangerous. And another good point you mentioned that is we have to differentiate the Chinese people and the Communist Party. They are not the same. The Chinese Communist Party cannot and does not represent the Chinese people.